Alright lads, we are back with career mode. This is episode 3 of season 3 of F1 2013 career mode here for the Chinese Grand Prix. Now I apologise for the lengthy break between episodes. I've just been very busy with uni stuff and a few other commitments, but I should be fine now to pump out some regular episodes. So here we are in qualifying 1 in China, and if you guys remember back to Malaysia, we had some terrible tyre wear. So I'm trying to cover myself here by just engaging in some methods that might help save the tyres. Even though I know that the tyre wear is scripted on this game, every little bit might help. So we'll try and do that, and hopefully the tyre wear might be a little bit better in this race, but we'll see how we go. And starting our very first hot lap of the weekend here in qualifying 1, we've gone to the top with a 137.663 on a set of prime tyres, and we ended the session in 8th place. So that's not bad for a banker lap, but obviously we could do a lot better. We still are yet to use the option tyres, and we're still yet to put the car up into fast revs, so we'll see how we go. This is qualifying 2 now. We've set a banker run on the first set of prime tyres you saw that were used in Q1, and as you can see here, we're getting held up quite a bit here on our sort of in lap or out lap. Getting ready to start our main qualifying lap now, so putting it up into fast, set of option tyres. Hopefully we can get up the field, and here we go. Alright, so finishing off the lap, and we managed to get into 8th place with a 136.873. That's only just enough to get us into Q3, but that's a very tight margin considering I was pushing to the max. So here we are in Q3. We've set 1 banker lap on the set of options you saw that we used at the end of qualifying 2, and now we're going to fast forward for the track to get a little bit faster, for a little bit more rubber to be laid down. And now we're going to put on 3 laps of fuel, reduce the front aero because I was hoping to get a little bit more straight line speed on that long back straight. Hopefully we can utilize that. And here we go, ready for the start of our final run in Q3. Whatever we do now will be the determining factor of where we start in this race. So we need a good qualifying position, just trying to sort ourselves out with some not back market cars, but cars that are just not on laps, so hopefully they don't get in our way. Kimi pulls out of the way as we approach the final corner now, and getting ready to start our flying lap. Using up most of our curves and opening the DRS. Coming up to turn 1, you just want to throw the car into this first apex. It's just what you got to do. Carry as much speed as you can, and then slow it down for this second apex here. It's what's traditionally known as the snail section. Flowing it now into first gear, getting a nice smooth exit, open the curves just a little bit as we brace ourselves for the first sector split, shifting down into first gear as you hit the ripple strip on the left there, and we're 4/10 up on our previous best, so we're looking good so far, and it looks like we're actually almost a 10th up on pole position, so we're looking good so far, but the Force India seems to struggle through high speed corners, and this middle sector won't be too favourable for us, so we'll hopefully try and maximise all of these corners through this middle sector of the lap. And the third sector as well isn't really that great for the Force India either. I feel like this car really doesn't have that much overall grip, and I think that hurts us, especially in the race. And as you can see there, coming out of the middle sector, we're now 5/10 down, or 4.5 down, so that's not good, but we're 6/10 up on our previous best. So it just shows how much we've found on this lap, but just at the same time just shows how far off the pace we are at this track. But this track here in China is probably my worst track out of all the tracks on this calendar, so if I can get a nice result here, then I won't be too displeased with that. So the time in the session has now expired, so now we're coming around the final corner for what should be hopefully our best lap of the session. We run wide just a little bit out of the final corner, but where do we end up in this session? We are in 8th place.
For the race start tomorrow, just as we calculated. Good job.
Alright, so here we are on the grid of the Chinese Grand Prix, round number 3 of Season 3 of F1 2013 Career Mode. We're waiting for the 5 red lights to go out, and away we go here in China. Looks like we got off to an actually decent start this time. No, we've got wheel spin through second and third gears now, dropping 2 positions to Perez and Hulkenberg. We're going to try and go up the middle of everyone here, try and split the pack, seeing if we can gain some positions by doing this cheeky method. We go into standard now to reduce the wheel spin, and I think we might have actually got a touch from behind, as we see on the replay here. Watch for a Mercedes on my inside. I believe it's Hamilton. As you can see there, just a little touch there. Rewind it, and we can see there that the Mercedes just moves over on us and gives us a touch in the rear. So that's the explanation for that. So we'll carry on now into 4th place. We've got Mark Webber right in front of us as we lose the back end there. I'm going to try and expel all of my curves on the run up to turn 4 now. We go around the outside of Webber, who squeezes us, but we get his position into P3 now, running just a bit wide there, losing the back end too, but we maintain a podium spot so far, so that's all we can ask for really. But now we're cutting to lap 5, and Felipe Massa and Nico Rosberg have managed to build a 3 or 4 second gap now, and I'm now vulnerable to Lewis Hamilton, who is attacking me up the inside into this hairpin. And looks like we're going to concede position 4. We just don't have the car speed to match it with the leaders today, unfortunately. So we might be battling for possibly a top 5 on genuine pace. We'll have to wait and see. But early signs so far are not good. We just don't have the race pace or consistency on high fuel. But we're going to go up the inside of Hamilton coming into turn 1. We've touched, and now we're both running wide. We've hit each other off, and I think I'm going to get a penalty for that. Yes, I am. Rightly so as well, because I just charged up the inside of Hamilton, and his race has surely been ruined by that. So now I'm going to come in to the pits for a drive-through penalty now. This is going to put me out of the points now, unfortunately, and my tyres are already going off on lap 6. That's crazy. Sebastian Vettel is now going up my inside into this hairpin, and as you can see, I've just got no straight line speed compared to the leaders here, so that's very disappointing. No grip and no straight line speed. This race is going to be absolutely terrible as Vettel holds us up coming into the final corner. I didn't have a run on him, so I thought, yeah, may as well take the penalty now for the drive-through. And yeah, here we go. Hopefully we don't drop too far off the back of the pack. Of course, I need to make a pit stop very soon because my tyres are about to go off the cliff, so I may potentially have to do an extra pit stop as the safety car now comes out on lap 8. This is possibly going to save me here, as the whole field is now going to come in. But looking on the mini-map there, no one else is coming in. So this is very interesting. I'm going to come in and put on a set of prime tyres, and this will probably put me on a 4-stop for this race. So this is going to be very interesting. I'm going to have a whole pit stop on the whole field, but of course I'm going to be in the pack, so I need to make up these positions as quickly as I can as soon as this safety car period is over. I was going to go for 4 stops anyway, so this is going to be very interesting as we move forward in this race. Pit stop is 3.2 seconds. It doesn't really matter. We're last in the field as John-Eric Vergne is the car who has retired in this race, so unfortunate to him. But Max Chilton, as always, is last of the runners left in this race who hasn't stopped yet, so we'll be eager to dispatch past him as soon as we can. But now the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap, and the leaders are coming around the penultimate corner now, and Max Chilton is leaving literally 50 car lengths between himself and the next car up ahead. I believe it's Guido van der Garde. But the leaders are now coming into the pits now. Not the pits, they're coming around the final corner. They're getting ready to restart the race. And we're not even coming up to the penultimate corner yet. Look at them, everyone else is gone and we're still trundling about at 50 miles an hour. This is ridiculous. Max Chilton, sort your life out. But anyway, we're going to finally restart this race now in dead last place. We've probably lost a pit stop to the whole field now. But we've got fresh tyres, lots of fuel on the car, and we've got a lot of cars to pass. Let's do this.
To define
Sorry lads, I'm going to have to cut the music for now because the whole field is now coming into the pit lane, and that relinquishes us into position 9 as Nico Rosberg, the effective race leader, has rejoined the track right in front of us with Pastor Maldonado right in front of him too. So if Maldonado can hold up Rosberg, then possibly we might be able to gain this lead back. So hopefully we can get in front of Rosberg, but then after we get the lead we need to push because we're on a 4-stop. Wish me luck. Alright, I gotta cut the music again. This battle is just too exciting not to talk about. We're now battling for the effective second place in this race, going around the outside of Rosberg coming into turn 4, and we're forced onto the marbles there. We just don't have the traction that Rosberg does in that Mercedes, and it looks like he might grab this position for now. We're gonna go up the inside, and we've touched wheels there just ever so slightly, trying to hold around the outside coming into this middle section of this track here, and it looks like Vettel now is battling for third place as now we cut to lap 17, and Vettel has given us a touch coming into the approach to turn 2. He's going up the inside through the Snell section, which turns to the outside. He's going to have superior traction if he can hold around the outside. I've just got no tyre life at this phase of the race, and Rosberg is, not Rosberg, but Vettel is going around my outside, which turns to the inside now for turn 4, and we're still going side by side through here. If I can just hold it, get a nice exit, then I might just be able to maintain track position as I have the superior line through this corner here. And yes, we maintain position 2, but all this battling now means that Mark Webber is now running away with this race, and it probably is out to about 10 seconds now as Sebastian Vettel fakes right and then goes left around the outside coming into the hairpin now. And we've run wide, we just don't have the grip in the tyres anymore. Vettel gets second place, and now Felipe Massa is going to be having an attack on me very soon. As soon as he can get within that 1 second DRS range, we run wide out of the exit of the final corner. We've got DRS on Sebastian Vettel, but he's just too far ahead for us to mount an attack on him. So we're pretty much going to have to settle for third place at this phase of the race. Now, lap 18, I've decided these tyres have had enough. Time to put on another set of option tyres. I've decided that the prime tyres really aren't that good, and we may as well give the option tyres a go in this stint. So hopefully we can get some decent tyre life out of these next set of tyres. How's the pit stop? 3.1 seconds, so that's a decent pit stop for Force India, and we're going to rejoin the track in what looks like 15th place behind our teammate Paul di Resta. So looking ahead in the rest of this race, hopefully we can get up the field. We're some distance away from the points runners there, but they still need to make another pit stop, as now on lap 21 the rain is now coming down, and my competitors still haven't made their pit stop yet, so I think they're holding out for rain so that they can gain a pit stop over me. So that's a little bit disappointing that I couldn't stretch out my tyres as long as what those guys could. So unfortunately I think I'm going to lose out here because it's very wet at this stage, and I think I need to come in for a set of intermediate tyres at the end of this lap. So I will be effectively losing a pit stop to the rest of the field. That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, so hopefully we can find some extra pace in the rain, because we sure as hell need it, because our dry pace is absolutely terrible so far. So hopefully we can get ourselves possibly into the top 5, maybe a podium, maybe even a win if we're really good in the wet, but I really doubt it. This Force India doesn't have the mechanical grip and just traction that the other teams seem to have at the front of the field. So here we go for a new phase of the race. Hopefully the wet weather is kind to us. I really do hope that this Force India is quick in the wet, but we'll have to wait and see as we leave the pit lane now with a 3.1 second stop, rejoining well behind our teammate Paul di Resta in 15th. The only cars behind us are Daniel Ricciardo and the back markers. So here we are on lap 24 now, and the rest of the midfield runners are making their pit stops now, so that promotes us now into position 8 with Pastor Maldonado right in front of us, and we're going to try to attack him as soon as we can because his tyres really aren't up to temperature yet, and he's not really accustomed to the wet conditions as of yet. But we go up the inside and we make the move stick for position 7. Pastor comes back at us, but he doesn't have enough traction to really challenge us there. But here on lap 25, it seems that we've lost a bit of pace here, and Jenson Button is now getting away as we run wide coming out of the hairpin rather. And looking at our rear tyres there, it looks like we've actually lost a bit of temperature there, so now we're diving into the pits for a set of wet tyres now. So the face of this race is now changed once again, and it seems I'm going to be the first one to blink in the whole field. So we'll see how this strategy plays out, but this is really a sort of last ditch effort at trying to get up the field. My tyres really weren't suited to the conditions in intermediate tyres, so hopefully the wet tyres are more suited, but we'll see how that plays out. But now lap 27, we've caught up to the back of Esteban Gutierrez, who seems to be going very slow through the hairpin section there, so possibly it's time for the wets to go on his car, or has he come into the pits yet? I'm not too sure. I think he actually has come in, but maybe he was just driving slow through that hairpin, so yeah, work that one out for you. But we're still fairly slow at this stage, and now on lap 32 you can see that we're losing the back end quite a bit. Just looks like our car is very unstable, especially at the rear, and now Hulkenberg has now caught us up, and look at the gap there. Esteban Gutierrez is now 10 seconds in front of us. You saw in the previous clip where we were right behind Esteban, but now for some unknown reason we've now lost all of our pace, and now we're just pretty much going backwards in the field now. We've got a massive train behind us, probably about 5 or 6 cars, including our teammate Paul di Resta, as Sergio Perez now dives up our inside coming into this hairpin section once again, and we switch to the cinematic view just to see a better shot of it, but we maintain track position. It seems that the AI are struggling just a bit through that hairpin. That's really the only corner on this entire track where I'm faster than the AI. It's just absolutely impossible to maintain track position with these guys at the moment. They're literally like 2 or 3 seconds a lap faster than me, and I have absolutely no idea why, because I'm on the safest set of tyres, the wet tyres. It doesn't get any more wet than this, and I don't have any better tyres to chuck on the car, so the tyres in theory should be working. It's working for the AI cars who are also on wet, so I really don't understand what's going on here. Losing the back end like crazy there, as you saw. That just allows Hamilton to get through for the final points paying position, but we try and go back up the inside of Hamilton again, just trying to get that points position back, because if we lose P10 then there's really no point in carrying on in this race. So we've got to stay in front, stay in P10 as long as we can, because let's face it, if we finish in 11th, then there's really, no point in us continuing on with this race. But we lose that position to Hamilton. We've just got no traction, especially out of that slow part of the track there. And so is the Snell section of the first sector. It's just impossible for me to get the power down without losing the back end. But we go up the inside of Hamilton, are we? Coming into the hairpin once again. The AI are just too slow through there. And that's really only my only counter-attack against the AI, unfortunately. We're going to go defensive on Hamilton coming into turn 4, and we're going to run wide possibly because we just have that compromised line through turn 4, and Hamilton is going to outdrag me. He's just got better tyres, and just his car is just working a whole lot better than what mine is in these wet conditions at the moment. I run wide through there, and Hamilton gets P10, and I think he might actually keep this position now, so that's very unfortunate. Now we've just got to focus on keeping Nico Hulkenberg behind, but really it doesn't matter now because we're out of the points, and where we finish now really does not matter. So coming through here, the dreaded final sector, and just watch how long it takes me to get to full throttle here. I'm not even on 100% throttle yet, but now I am, and Hulkenberg is already gone. I'm trying to put it up into fast, burning all of my curves. I'm already -1 on fuel, as you can see on the screen there. So I'm in a lot of trouble in this race, and we got the inside of Hulkenberg thanks to the slipstream there. And here on lap 35, we've just completely locked up and run wide at the hairpin. And I think Hulkenberg will now get position 12 now. As we throw up our arm in frustration, we've just got nothing to fight against the AI with. Our car is just not suited to these conditions at all. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to score any points today. Lewis Hamilton is a long way up the road as well, so it's looking even more dire as the race goes on. But our teammate Paul di Resta goes around our outside coming into turn 1, but we hold the ideal line through the snail section, and we just about managed to hold off Paul for P12. But it's only going to be a matter of time before we drop position to him as well, because we lose the back end like crazy. And there we go, we've dropped like 4 positions there. And now we're into P16 with only Bottas behind us and then the back markers. So this race is increasingly looking worse as the laps tick over. But we got the inside of a couple cars there, including Maldonado. But we lose the back end coming out of turn 4. And yeah, we've just got nothing at this stage, unfortunately, guys. For some reason, I'm not too sure if it's a glitch or if my car or setup is not working for this track, or maybe I need to put on intermediate tyres, but I severely doubt that. But for some reason, China, the wet, just does not work. I just saw Arab's video around China as well. He had wet conditions as well, but he couldn't get his tyres to work either. He was a long way off the pace as well, so I think this might be some kind of Codemasters glitch, unfortunately. So we've just got nothing to fight with in this race, unfortunately, and I think my engineer just came over the radio then saying that the rain will improve in the next 15 minutes. So that's promising, but my tyres are not going to hold out for another 15 laps, so I need to come in for another set of wet tyres. My wet tyres actually aren't that bad. I think they were just orange, as we saw on the time map there, so I'm just so confused as to why these tyres aren't working in these conditions. It's wet conditions, I've got wet tyres on the car, there's nothing more I can do. The tyres really aren't that worn. Hopefully I can bring it up on screen here just to see what the condition of the tyres are like, but I really haven't been on them for that long, so there's really no excuses as to why these tyres aren't working. They're just not in the temperature window or the working window for the tyres to be working, so unfortunately we've just got to put on another set of wet tyres and pray for the best, really. So coming out on track now in P16, we've got Valtteri Bottas about 15 seconds behind, and I think he'll be right on me as we come on to lap 48 now, but Jules Bianchi has now got in front of him somehow, so that relinquishes us into P14. There's P13 now as we pass Alonso, who has retired from the race mysteriously. So maybe these conditions aren't just really bad for me. It seems that a few AI cars are retiring out of this race as well, so maybe they're, I don't know, having some kind of problem or maybe crashing out. I have no idea, but now we're coming in for a new set of intermediate tyres now, and hopefully by the track drying out now, hopefully I can come into phase, but I'm a long way off the points. I am just about a lap down now, I think. I don't think I've been lapped yet, but I'm very close to it, so actually that might actually be the leader there, so that's us a lap down now, lads. So unfortunately we've really tits this one up as well, because I don't think the intermediate tyres are the right tyres just yet either, so this is very disappointing. And now we've dropped to over a minute, 1 whole minute behind Pastor Maldonado, who was in P12. We've run wide through turn 1. We've just got no grip on the intermediate tyres, and yeah, as I said, guys, this race really hasn't been my best. It's probably going to go down as my worst career mode race ever. So, you know, let's get all the bad luck out of the way in one race, shall we? So, you know, we can come back in Bahrain with some good spirits. And there we go, getting lapped by Daniel Ricciardo in 11th place. So, yeah, this race really hasn't worked out. So, it's only like 4 laps to go in this race, so I may as well stay on the intermediate tyres. I know they're the wrong tyres, but you know, we've already, you know, taken the gamble by putting on these tyres. We may as well stick it out and keep these tyres on, have a bit of fun, trying to, you know, battle to keep the car on the track as well. Pastor Maldonado, our next, the guys directly in front of me, position-wise, has now lapped me, so there goes any chance of me trying to pick up positions in this race. And now I'm 2 laps down, so this race is yeah, really gone down the toilet. And I think that's Jules Bianchi right behind me, right behind Jenson Button. But someone off in the distance there is retiring, so these conditions are trapping a lot of cars, and we might actually go down to 16 runners in this Grand Prix. Hopefully more can DNF, so I might actually get some points. But Guido van der Garde has now jumped me for position 13, so now I've actually lost a genuine position to the back markers. I'm genuinely fighting with the slowest cars in the field in Formula 1. That's how bad this race has gone. Hopefully we don't end up behind Max Chilton. We really don't want that, but I'm going to try and keep my pride intact by staying in front of Guido van der Garde here. So I'm going to try and line him up for a pass at the end of this straight here. Just try and stick with him in the slipstream. I just need to get a nice and smooth exit out of this slow and winding long right-hander. Use up all of our curves, put it up into fast. Even though my tyres are falling off the cliff in terms of temperature, we're going to try and dive it up the inside of Guido here, because we know that the AI are fairly slow coming into this corner, especially a backmarker team. So we dive it up the inside and we get position 13, and with only a couple of laps to go, we still have our decent position so far, but we lose the back end pretty badly there, and Jules Bianchi has now got a run on me as he's now leaving some space for one of the leaders coming through. That's Kimi Räikkönen. I leave him some space too as I sort of lock up there and run into the back of him, but thankfully we don't lose that position yet. We lose the back end, and I'm just trying to stay in front. We lose it again, and unfortunately we've dropped both of those positions. Guido van der Garde and Jules Bianchi now have 13th and 14th place respectively, and now it's the end of the race. Nico Rosberg has now won, but unfortunately, lads, I really couldn't do anything in this race. I was just like 2 or 3 seconds a lap slower than everyone whenever it was raining, so it was very tough for me to actually find the motivation to finish this race. But coming through the penultimate corner now, and Jules Bianchi and Guido van der Garde were going side by side through there. They held each other up, but there's just not enough traction for me to really do anything about it as we hit the bollard out of the final corner, coming up to the line, and we finished in probably our worst position ever in career mode. It's 15th place. And there we go. It looks like my engineer is giving me the silent treatment, so that just shows how badly we disappointed him in this race. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, despite me having probably the most terrible of races. In the end there, I did find it a bit entertaining to sort of battle with the AI on different tyres. That was very interesting and something I've never done before, so hope you guys enjoyed that. But yeah, I apologize for my voice as well. I've just come down with a sore throat, so trying to get through this race, which is like 29 minutes long, probably my longest career mode video so far, and to do it with pretty much no voice has been very tough for me. So I hope you guys appreciate this video. But yeah, that's been the Chinese Grand Prix. Not the best of rounds, but hopefully we can bounce back in the next couple of rounds with some good, decent points. We've now got 2 of the worst tracks out of the way now. That's China and Malaysia. So heading into the rest of the championship, we should be able to move forward. So yeah, that's been the Chinese Grand Prix. Until my next video, guys, I'll see you next time.